When a World Cup final ends, the world expects one image: the trophy raised high, the champions celebrating, and the fireworks lighting up the sky. But inside MetLife Stadium, the cameras found something completely different. Long after the final whistle, every eye was on the chaos unfolding on the pitch as Leandro Paredes had to be pulled away by members of Argentina's own staff after a heated clash with Eric Garcia, including a moment where he appeared to grab Garcia around the neck. Instead of a picture-perfect ending, the biggest game in football turned into a scene of pure frustration and emotion boiling over. It was the shocking image of a team that had completely lost control, with the final moments becoming more about confrontation than celebration. Throughout the tournament, Argentina had faced constant criticism over their aggressive style, their physical battles, and the way some controversial moments seemed to go their way. Many fans felt they were given the benefit of the doubt when matches became tense, while others argued their intensity was simply part of their competitive identity. But at MetLife Stadium, that reputation took a massive hit. The protection some people believed they had was gone, and every decision, every challenge, and every confrontation was being judged under the brightest spotlight in football. Argentina entered the final, believing they could disrupt Spain's rhythm by turning the match into a mental and physical battle. The idea was simple: make the game uncomfortable, test Spain's young stars, and force them into mistakes. But instead of breaking Spain's confidence, the pressure created an explosion of drama. In front of more than 82,000 supporters in East Rutherford and millions watching around the world, Argentina's aggressive approach backfired spectacularly, creating one of the wildest endings ever seen on the international stage. The numbers from this final tell a story that is impossible to ignore. Argentina finished the match with 28 fouls, picked up 5 yellow cards, suffered an in-game sending off, and then saw another red card come after the final whistle, following a shocking confrontation. Those statistics paint the picture of a team constantly walking the line. During the match, Argentina spent around 14 minutes of actual playing time involved in heated moments surrounding Spanish players, arguing with officials, pulling at shirts, and trying to make every challenge as uncomfortable as possible for Spain and referee Slavko Vincic. Now compare that with Spain's numbers, and the contrast becomes even more dramatic. Spain completed 742 passes, Argentina completed just 182. And those 182 passes often came after pressure moments, desperate clearances, or situations where they were simply trying to escape Spain's control. The biggest problem was the attacking output. Across the full 90 minutes, Argentina failed to record a single shot on target. Not one. For a World Cup final, that is a stunning statistic. A team can defend, fight, and frustrate an opponent. But when the entire plan revolves around stopping the other side instead of creating chances, questions are going to follow. Argentina's approach looked less like a battle of footballing quality and more like a survival mission. They gave Spain the ball, absorbed pressure, and tried to drag the match into a messy, emotional contest where every second became a fight for control. From the opening minutes, many believed Lionel Scaloni's strategy was obvious: disrupt, challenge, and test Spain's patience. The goal was to make the young Spanish players uncomfortable and force them into mistakes under pressure. The pattern appeared almost immediately. Early in the match, Gonzalo Montiel collided with Alex Baena near the halfway line and made his presence known. Minutes later, Alexis Mac Allister was involved in a physical challenge against Pedro Porro near the penalty area. Then Nicolas Tagliafico went down after contact with Lamine Yamal, creating another heated moment that added even more tension. The final quickly became a mental battle, with every challenge, reaction, and confrontation adding another layer of drama. But instead of Spain losing focus, Argentina's constant attempts to disrupt the game only created more attention on their own struggles. The physical battles kept piling up as the final moved forward, and the tension only continued to rise. In the 14th minute, Alexis Mac Allister went into a dangerous challenge on Dani Olmo that sparked controversy because many felt it deserved a booking. Somehow, the referee allowed play to continue, adding even more frustration for the Spanish side. Just minutes later, Christian Romero was involved in another heated moment after forcing Alex Baena away from the action and standing over him in a tense exchange that looked more like a personal confrontation than a football challenge. By the 29th minute, Nicolas Tagliafico was caught pulling back Lamine Yamal as Spain's young star tried to break forward, creating another flashpoint in a match already filled with arguments and physical clashes. When Lisandro Martinez finally received a yellow card in the 41st minute after stopping Mikel Oyarzabal during a dangerous counterattack, Lionel Scaloni reacted quickly. Just 2 minutes later, he replaced Martinez, seemingly trying to avoid the risk of going down to 10 players. But after half-time, the pressure reached another level. In the 51st minute, Leandro Paredes collided heavily with Rodri during a challenge, then became involved in another confrontation with Dani Olmo that earned him a booking. 5 minutes later, Julian Alvarez was caught in a dangerous aerial challenge with Aymeric Laporte, adding more fuel to an already heated contest. The drama continued late into the match. Around the 76th minute, Paredes committed another aggressive challenge on Mikel Merino. Moments later, Alvarez collided with Pedri while trying to stop a dangerous Spanish attack. Then came another major flashpoint when Giuliano Simeone approached Marc Cucurella from behind during a challenge that left the Spanish defender needing attention. And then the pressure finally reached Enzo Fernandez. In the 82nd minute, he was shown a yellow card after an angry reaction toward the referee. Shortly afterward, he stopped another Spanish attack by bringing down Merino and preventing a quick restart. Then, deep into stoppage time, with the score still locked at 0-0, Enzo Fernandez reached a breaking point. The final moments turned chaotic as emotions completely boiled over. Pau Cubarsí managed to clear the ball toward the touchline, but the next moment created one of the most dramatic scenes of the final. Enzo Fernandez rushed in with both feet, leaving the ground, catching the young Spanish defender in a dangerous challenge that sent him tumbling through the air. As the referee reached for a second yellow card, Enzo protested his innocence, but the decision was made. The Argentine midfielder was sent off, leaving his team to finish the match with 10 players after another explosive moment in an already heated final. And standing right in the middle of all the chaos was Lionel Andrés Messi. The Argentine captain, usually known for letting his football do the talking, became heavily involved in the emotional side of the match. Throughout the game, he constantly communicated with officials and challenged decisions that went against his team. In the 91st minute, Messi went into a late challenge with Aymeric Laporte while trying to win a dangerous free kick in the final stages. Then came another controversial scene just minutes later. After Enzo Fernandez's sending-off incident, Messi gathered his teammates around referee Slavko Vincic, demanding further action against Spain. He argued that Marc Cucurella had covered his mouth while speaking and believed it deserved punishment. Cucurella's gesture lasted only a brief moment, but Messi and Argentina pushed for a stronger reaction. The scene was unexpected, one of football's biggest stars fighting over a small detail, while the match itself was already spiraling into chaos. For many viewers, it captured the strange atmosphere of the final. Huge emotions, constant complaints, and players searching for every possible advantage. The tension had taken over completely, and the biggest stage in football had become a battle of nerves as much as ability. And if anyone wanted another example of how controversial the officiating felt during the match, the next major incident arrived deep into extra time in the 96th minute. Nico Williams thought he had delivered the moment Spain had been waiting for. He found the back of the net with a clean finish, and it looked like the breakthrough that could decide the World Cup final. But then everything stopped. Nicolas Otamendi, caught out of position, went down immediately after a small contact near his boot. The argument was that Mikel Merino's studs had made contact just before the goal was scored, creating a controversial review that changed the entire mood inside the stadium. Many fans believed the reaction was exaggerated and felt the moment did not justify overturning such a huge play. But after the review, the goal was ruled out, giving Argentina another chance to survive. Meanwhile, Emi Martinez took valuable seconds by staying down, adding even more frustration for Spain supporters who felt the game was slowing down at every opportunity. The pattern continued as tensions reached boiling point. Giuliano Simeone went down looking for a foul during a challenge involving Cucurella, while Nicolas Tagliafico also hit the ground after contact with Ferran Torres, leading to a heated confrontation between both teams. Even Lionel Scaloni became involved near the touchline as emotions spilled over. Then, in the 108th minute of extra time, Leandro Paredes launched into another aggressive challenge on Mikel Merino, creating yet another dangerous moment in a match filled with physical battles and controversy. But football has a way of creating its own justice. With Argentina down to 10 players and their defensive wall starting to crack, Spain returned to what they do best: controlling the game through movement, patience, and passing. Their endless passing patterns finally created the opening they needed. Then came the decisive moment. A perfectly timed move, a sharp delivery, and a powerful volley from close range sent the ball into the net. This time, there was no argument, no delay, and no escape. Spain had finally broken through, and Argentina's resistance began to collapse under the pressure. Dibu Martinez had finally been beaten, and when the final whistle arrived, the emotions completely exploded. The frustration that had built throughout the match boiled over in the final moments, as Leandro Paredes sprinted across the pitch and became involved in a heated confrontation with Eric Garcia, including a moment where he grabbed Garcia around the neck before the situation was broken up. The chaos continued as Paredes pulled at Gavi's training bib during the aftermath, forcing Argentina's coaching staff to step in and calm down their own players. Lionel Scaloni and his staff rushed onto the field to prevent the confrontation from becoming even worse, while referee Slavko Vincic later showed Paredes a post-match red card, a rare and dramatic ending to a World Cup final. Argentina had entered the biggest game in football, believing they could survive through pressure, physicality, and disruption. They tried to turn the match into a battle of emotions, hoping to frustrate Spain and stop their rhythm. But over the course of 90 minutes and extra time, the contrast became clear. Spain controlled possession, created the better football moments, and stayed focused, while Argentina became increasingly consumed by the fight around them. The belief that aggression, experience, and gamesmanship could carry them to another trophy collapsed under the spotlight. Instead of being remembered only for their competitive edge, Argentina left the final surrounded by controversy and questions about their discipline. The night showed the danger of losing control on the biggest stage. The confrontations, the heated reactions, and the repeated arguments became the story just as much as the football itself. The images of Paredes' confrontation with Garcia, Enzo Fernandez's reckless challenge, and the constant disputes with officials will remain part of the final's legacy. In the end, Argentina's attempts to disrupt Spain could not stop a team that stayed calm, trusted its style, and kept playing until the final breakthrough. The trophy went to the side that controlled the game, and Argentina was left to deal with the consequences of a night where emotions overtook everything else. The dark arts finally ran out of chances. The controversy, the chaos, and the constant battles couldn't hide the fact that Spain stayed composed, played their football, and delivered when it mattered most. The pressure caught up with Argentina, and the final ended with more questions about their discipline than their performance. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Which moment do you think was the point where everything fell apart for Argentina? Was it the controversial VAR decision that ruled out Nico Williams' late goal? Was it Messi pushing for a red card against Cucurella after the mouth-covering gesture? Or was it Leandro Paredes' explosive confrontation with Eric Garcia after the final whistle? Drop your choice in the comments, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with other football fans who love the biggest stories from the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one here on World Cup Time.